In this video, I'm going to explain how allergies represent a fantastic example of a boosted immune state that you want to avoid. So I'm going to show why this language of immune boosting, immune strengthening really doesn't make sense from a physiological perspective. So let's take a look at this next image. This is called mastocytosis. And the reason why it's called mastocytosis is because there's a proliferation of immune cells called mast cells. And when mast cells go ballistic, you get this. This is a very rare condition. About 1 out of 1,000 to 1 out of 8,000 dermatology patients have this. So it's very, very rare. A much more common condition is just allergies. So you can see mastocytosis is very rare. It differs from typical allergic reactions because it's chronic rather than episodic. So right now, the last few videos I've done, I've had some allergy voice issues. That's because we got pollen coming down like snow. So some days it's not bad, some days it's worse. But anyway, mast cells produce histamine when exposed to an allergen. And so mastocytosis is just what you saw the previous picture, just this blast of histamine or whatever other chemicals are being released by these mast cells. So you want to inhibit excessive mast cell function. Why would you want to boost the immune system to reduce allergies when in fact allergies represent a boosted immune state? It's kind of bizarre how people, and we're talking that people in healthcare perpetuate this insanity. So if you want to see how that is true, you can just Google, like I did, strengthening your immune system during allergy season. You can see all pops up. Control your allergies by strengthening your immune system. Well, how does that work? If you take something to inhibit mast cell function, did you strengthen it or did you just inhibit mast cells from going crazy? 6 ways to strengthen your immune system to fight allergies. And here you see, can allergies lower your immune system? It's like, oh my, no, that's not what it is. Allergies are a boosted immune state. Very, very simple and straightforward. So the role of mast cells in allergic inflammation. So the yellow circles are allergens. They bind to receptors on mast cells, and that causes the mast cells to dump these granules. And these granules contain various mediators, the most famous being histamine. Now, not all, like these lipid mediators, they're not released in granules. Histamine is in some other guys, but really histamine is the biggie. So histamine gets released when there is an allergen present if you're an allergy person. So do you want to boost this? I mean, this is what mast cells do. They dump histamine when allergens are present. You want to boost that? I mean, isn't that insane? Oh my God. Okay, so there are drugs called mast cell stabilizers. I first learned about these about over 30 years ago when I started looking at Diet in the Flame. And I came across a substance called cromolyn. And cromolyn is like, I don't know if there's probably other ones, but that's like the most famous. Here it is, mast cell stabilizers, cromolyn. Blocks calcium channel, blocks. That's the opposite of boost. So you block the calcium channel, and that stops mast cell degranulation and the release of histamine. So why would anyone want to boost mast cell function? It doesn't make any sense. So cromolyn is a mast cell stabilizer. You can just Google that as I did there. It means it stops, blocks, doesn't boost. It blocks histamine release, prevents mast cells from triggering the immune response, which is, its immune response is degranulation and dumping of histamine. So I'm not sure why people find this to be so confusing and they just refuse to use proper language. And you can see, if you go into the literature, this is from 2012. Now, just because I have the quercetin here, I'm not saying you should go get quercetin. But you can see in the study, quercetin more effective than cromolyn in blocking mast cell cytokine release. So polyphenols, which is what quercetin is, so all of your like ginger and turmeric, there are substances that are anti-inflammatory are called polyphenols, and that's what quercetin is. So curcumin in turmeric is a polyphenol. It's anti-inflammatory. It suppresses, it normalizes immune function by suppressing pro-inflammatory activity is the best way to look at it. Magnesium deficiency. If you're deficient in magnesium, ooh, look at this. Mast cells emerge in the liver of rats. So years ago, I also learned that magnesium has a mast cell stabilizing function. So magnesium is known to be anti-inflammatory. In other words, it prevents immune boosting, because we certainly don't want to have allergies, and that is what is an allergy state. It's an immune boosted state. So if you look at mediators of anaphylaxis, what do we see? Anaphylaxis, life-threatening. That's a massive immune boost. What's boosted? Mast cell release of histamine is the biggie. These other ones as well, but this is the biggie. So again, perfect example of how the immune boosting language is just comical, really. So here's curcumin I mentioned before. Curcumin in this animal model inhibits mastocytosis, suppresses anaphylaxis. So you want to boost or suppress your immune system. Now, very few people have naturally suppressed immune systems. You have to have HIV, AIDS, or if you are an organ transplant patient, then you actually take immunosuppressive drugs. So you can take immunosuppressive drugs if you have an organ transplant, or you have an immunosuppressive disease like HIV. So otherwise, people have boosted immune function. That's why we have symptoms. Again, sort of the nasally tone of my voice is because I'm being bathed in like snowdrifts of pollen down south where I live. So this is an article about vitamin C, mast cells, and inflammation. So people think, oh yeah, vitamin C is going to boost the immune system and reduce allergies or whatever they're going to say. That's the exact opposite. It's been reported that vitamin C inhibits excessive activation of the immune system. So once again, you see that language should be avoided. Immune boosting and allergies really are the best. Now, my criticism of it, and I even put this on the Deflame Facebook page, which anyone can use if they want and show, it technically isn't accurate because the immune system has pro and anti-inflammatory functions. And so when people become pro-inflammatory, you get an increase in pro-inflammatory immune activity and a decrease in anti-inflammatory immune activity. So you really want to suppress pro-inflammatory and then increase the anti-inflammatory side. But you can see what I just showed you. For example, in other videos, the cytokine storm that people develop if they're unfortunate, if they've got a really bad flu and a coronavirus infection, and that cytokine storm can kill you. So that's what I refer to in terms of boosting. So if we do all of these 9 things, or enough of them, we will turn on inflammation. We will boost the inflammatory activity of the immune system, and that is why we can end up with all of these various symptoms. But to be totally accurate, this is really the proper language. The Grim Reaper wants you to have a pro-inflammatory immune system. Steps you can take to create a pro-inflammatory immune system. Don't exercise, become obese, overeat all day, focus on sugar, flour, refined and never eat vegetation. This is what a lot of people are doing during this quarantine thing. People are going to become more obese, and obesity is a pro-inflammatory state. So the next video I do, I'm going to show you the anti and pro-inflammatory issues related to immune function. This will be a brief intro. So this is representing an anti-inflammatory immune system or an immune state. So normal immune function has a proper release of pro-inflammatory cytokines, pro-inflammatory growth factors, pro-inflammatory chemotactic agents, pro-inflammatory free radicals, and there is a reduction, or I should say normal immune function has adequate anti-inflammatory, has adequate anti-inflammatory cytokines, bactericidal agents, and phagocytosis means engulfing and eliminating pathogens like viruses and bacteria. You need both. You need the up top here, this is the pro-inflammatory side that you need, and the anti-inflammatory side that you need. The problem is when people flame up by not sleeping, stressing, not exercising, and pigging out like there's no tomorrow. The pro-inflammatory side gets boosted, and the anti-inflammatory side becomes depressed. And that is the immune state that most people live in. So just to say boost immune function is ridiculous, because to boost immune function means you're referring to boosting all of immune function. You do not want to boost these. So if you want to deflame yourself, there are many options, and these are the options that I offer. There is a chapter in the Deflame Diet book that goes over this whole immune system jargon or lingo that people use that's incorrect. And then the outcome of a pro-inflammatory immune system is rotting joints, muscles, bones, blood vessels, tendons, teeth, total nightmare. So you can check these out at deflame.com, and you can like, subscribe, do the bell thing or whatever it is they do for YouTube, and you can like and follow the Deflame Nutrition Facebook page where I post all this stuff quite regularly. As I said before, the next video I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the pro versus the anti-inflammatory immune system components, or the immune states. So that is the best language to use, and I'll show you that in the next video.